Hey guys, Darren Asbury with Revital Outdoors. Very, very excited for this podcast. Today we have Austin Casteel. He is the recent winner of the BFL Cowboy division on Lake Sam Rayburn. That happened this last weekend. He had almost a 20-pound bag, little over 19 pounds. I think the weather conditions were absolutely horrible throughout the tournament. So, very honored to have him as our guest today, and we will go ahead and bring him in. From Texas, Mr. Austin Casteel. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, well, man, tell us a little bit about you. And I know you're kind of a younger guy, and this was actually your first tournament as a boater in the BFL. So, tell us how you got started fishing and why you started fishing, Major League Fishing, the BFL, and all that.
Oh, well, I'm 26 and I started fishing at a very young age. Grew up with my dad, my grandfather doing it. We had a camp at Toledo Bend. And just from that point, as I got older, me and my older brother, who also fished the BFL, we just started going out on our own and learning as much as we could. And
Awesome, awesome. So, have you fished tournaments before, prior to the one this last weekend, or prior to the BFL? Like, what's your experience there?
I fish a lot of tournaments. I fished the Outlaw Series at Rayburn the last couple of years, and then I just kind of pick whatever series lines up better with my work schedule. That's kind of what I choose to fish. And this year the BFL's lined up almost perfect. So that's the ones I
Okay.
chose, and it worked out pretty good so far.
Awesome. So you say you're from the Toledo Bend area, so you fish Rayburn a lot.
Yes, I fish Toledo Bend, Rayburn, and Sabine River the most.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So, well, you're off to a great start. You're leading the pack in points, so that's obviously a great thing. I know that the Cowboy division goes back to Toledo Bend and Rayburn. Um, so walk us through. When did you start practice? How often do you get out on the water, and what was kind of leading up to the tournament? What did you find?
I started practicing really not that far in advance. I spend so much time up there during the spring that I try not to start too early because I'll get too focused in on one thing. And so I went, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks prior to the tournament, and that's kind of when I started pre-fishing. And I realized there's not nearly as much grass as the last couple of years, and so I knew that I was going to be getting hit pretty hard, especially with all the tournaments and pressure that lake gets. So I just decided to try to go do something different, and it worked out pretty good for this tournament.
Okay. Well, cool. Cool. So, well, walk us through. Practice. What kind of baits did you end up finding out in the tournament? Was there an area of the lake? Was there a pattern? Like,
Yeah. So I spent some time looking for grass and up shallow and stuff, and I just couldn't find very much grass. So I kind of abandoned that, and I went out and started looking around out deeper on some main lake stuff, and I ended up finding some isolated stumps and different laydowns and things like that. And I threw Carolina rig, drop shot, jig, just that kind of Texas rig, that kind of stuff on them, and a lot of Kentuckies and stuff. But it, you weed through the smaller fish, and they had some better fish out there.
okay, okay. So predominantly you were catching your fish on plastics.
Yes, sir. All
Okay,
plastics. I tried some other stuff, but I just couldn't get them fired on it. So
I got you. I got you. So, well, I'm originally from Oklahoma, and one of the top baits that I always threw growing up was a Carolina rig.
mm-hmm.
And one of the ways that I love to rig a Carolina rig is actually to run a 50-pound mainline braid, and then I run a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. So, how did you have yours set up? What kind of weight did you have on it? All that.
So I throw a. So I've also tried the braid to floor leader, and I just sometimes I set the hook too hard. I'd get too excited, and I would break that leader. So I'm actually throwing a fluorocarbon to mono leader, and I feel like the mono helps a little bit, helps the bait float a little bit better, and so that's kind of just my thought on that. And throwing a 3/4 ounce weight with a glass bead and just a little swivel on there. And kind of same as you, I grew up, like I said, it's Toledo Bend, and back growing up, that's all we did. We drug points, humps, went through it in the grass edges and that kind of stuff. So that's a bait I'm very
Gotcha.
comfortable with.
Okay. Cool. 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 Do you throw a big leader with your Carolina rig or shorter leader?
So In the summertime, I throw a shorter leader, and in the wintertime, I throw a longer leader. That's just kind
Gotcha.
of how I do, and not that different. Maybe 8 to 10 inches, depending on the time of year difference between summer and winter.
I got you. Cool, 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 cool. So, well, I've noticed you guys had some weather, pretty bad weather throughout the tournament. So, walk us through what happened there. Like, what was going on with the weather?
Well, it's kind of crazy actually. The ramp that we were launching out of is actually closed, so everyone had to launch the next cove over and idle over there in the first thing in the morning. So I knew the weather was going to get progressively worse throughout the day. So running in, I gave myself a little bit extra time, but it was it was windy from the beginning, and then when they had a little storm cell move through, and when that moved through, they had some pretty strong wind gusts that came with it, and some lightning and stuff. And it's not something I'm a big fan of. I don't really like lightning while I'm fishing. So, but
No, no, I'm not a fan of the lightning either, especially down here in Florida where I live now. It's not something you want to mess with.
no, it's too flat over there. You're the tallest thing out in most of those areas.
For sure. So, well, so what boat number were you? That's a good question.
137.
137.
So
So you were flight 6, 7. So you kind of had a 4 o'clock weigh in.
yeah, 420 weigh in actually.
Okay.
That was the latest weigh in I've ever had for any
I got
tournament.
you.
So
I got you. So did you stay in one area throughout the tournament, or were you running a pattern, or
I
what was you
I'd
kind of find?
I had found some isolated stumps around a creek, and I just kind of fished those all day. Just had a little stretch I was fishing, and those fish just moving through. The bigger fish were moving through, and I feel like I was picking them off as they were moving through.
Okay. So were you catching fish all day, or was it a morning deal or afternoon, or?
Oh well, I called that my big fish. I caught fourth or fifth cast of the day, and I caught fish the entire rest of the day, pretty much.
Really? Okay. Did you
Yeah,
call it all, or?
yeah. I called small calls throughout the day, and I had just a squeaker towards the end of the day, and I caught almost a 3 pounder right at the end to make that good call, and I headed out after that.
I got you. I got you. So caught a lot of fish throughout the day, made several calls. So that's really neat, man. So would you say like the pre-spawn wintertime is your favorite time to fish Rayburn, or you like it in the summertime? Like when's your best time to hit Lake Sam Rayburn?
I would say this pre-spawn and into the spring, and it's a weird time right now because we haven't had the cold weather that we're used to, so the water
Hmm.
temps are still pretty warm. So I think that's another thing that threw a lot of people off. Is just the fish they're not in their seasonal pattern really that we would expect due to that.
I got you. I got you. So the fish are kind of shallow. Do you think they're getting ready to think about the spawn, or like what's the water temperature like? What's going on?
Oh, it was in the where I was at was high 50s. So yeah, I definitely think that the fish are very confused on what time of year it is. So I'm not sure if they're moving up, if that's what they think they're going to do, but that's kind of what it seemed like to me.
Well, cool, cool. You mentioned you caught your big fish early on in the morning. How big was that fish? How big did it end up going?
I think it was a little over 7. I didn't actually weigh it for the big fish. The weighmaster said they had one close to 8, and I knew I didn't have that, so I just went ahead and just weighed my bag to try to get people moving through.
Right, right. Yeah, because I know the weather was happening on you guys. So,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
pouring rain by the time we were weighing in. Yeah.
right, 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 right. So, well, that's a really solid kicker fish. You had a great bag. What's your goals throughout the rest of the season? Are you fishing all the Cowboys, hoping to get to that regional, or what's the kind of the plan?
Well, winning this one, I actually made the regional. It's just I'm getting married that weekend, so there's no chance of me going to fish. And it was actually in your home state, is it Grand Lake, and I was looking forward to it. I've always wanted to fish over there, just never had a reason to drive. But it looks like it's not going to work out this year either. So I'm going to fish the rest of them though, I think, and just see how I do.
I got you. I got you. So, well, that's really cool, man. Well, you're off to a great start for the season. Obviously, this is your first full year. Uh, can't really ask for anything more than to capitalize with a win, especially the first tournament out. So, if you have any other goals throughout the rest of the season, what would they be? Do you hope to win another one, or just stay good in points, or do you have fun just going fishing?
I mean, I'd obviously love to win another one. That would be really cool to do. But I have fun just going fishing. I like tournament fishing more than anything. I like competing. So whether it's a big tournament or a small tournament, that's what I enjoy doing. So that's just fish as many tournaments as I can this year and just continue to learn. I guess
Right,
that's my number
right.
one goal.
Okay. So, do you have any goals to like maybe fish the Toyota Series someday, or maybe the Bass Pro Tour, or anything like that? Or
Oh, I'd
it's
love
crazy,
to.
something crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is crazy to think about, and it's a lot of money to think about and entry fees and all that. So it's definitely something I'd love to do though. That's every
Right,
guy's dream. Every fisherman's dream growing up is to one day do it as a job. So it'd be
right.
cool.
Cool, 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 cool. So, well, tell us a little bit about you personally. Like, where do you work now, and how often do you like try to get to fishing and all that?
I actually work in a chemical plant, so I work shift work, so I get to do a lot of fishing, especially during the week whenever the lakes aren't as busy.
Hmm.
So that can sometimes be deceiving though. If you go pre-fish on a weekday, you think you have something to yourself, and then next thing you know, Saturday shows up and it's packed, and you had no
Right.
idea. So it'll get you in trouble a little bit, but I do try to fish as much as possible.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, well, one last question. If you had one bait to fish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One bait. Probably a big swim bait, man. To be honest, it's something I've got into and I really enjoy throwing, and they catch giant fish. So it's something
I'm
I
with you
really
on that.
enjoy. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like throwing a big swim bait, even I'm not stuck on one or the other. I really like soft, hollow bodied swim baits. I like the hard bait, the swim baits. I know that down there at Sam Rayburn, um, the bull shad was
it,
very very popular, especially in the summertime, swimming it over the grass.
yes,
So
yes.
um, it's an expensive bait, but it catches some absolute giants over that grass. So
Oh yeah, they kill it when they hit it. They're trying to kill it. So it's a
yeah,
fun thing to throw. Yeah.
so for sure. So well, Austin, thank you for being on our podcast for Vital Outdoors. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. Hopefully, we get to get you back onto another podcast. And just good luck to you. Good luck in getting married in the fall. And yeah, we're just very proud to have you on as a guest. And glad to see you walk away with actually the very first BFL tournament of the 2022 season.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so we'll talk to you soon, bud. And anybody watching out there, I guess you're on Facebook and Instagram and everything, so they can follow your fishing career there. And we
Yep.
wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up. We're very, very honored to have Austin Casteel he was the winner of the very first BFL Cowboy Division tournament this year on Lake Sam Rayburn. Really, really excited to sit down with him and talk about his day on the water, the patterns he used and baits. So be sure to like and follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to have many, many more of these podcasts throughout the year. Being a sponsor of Major League Fishing, we're very proud of that. We're going to try to get as many of the top finishers as we can from the BFL lakes and tournaments throughout the year. So very, very excited to see the future anglers that we get to talk to on here. So again, thank you for tuning into this podcast. And make sure you check out Revital Outdoors, our website, see all of our full line of CBD products there, and then check out our social media platforms as well. That's going to be Facebook and Instagram. So from everybody at Revital Outdoors, I'm Theron Asbury. Have a great evening. God bless and be safe out there on the water.